Have you ever seen a brand on the internet and you're like, wow, like I can truly tell who this person is. Like I truly feel like I know them. I feel like we could be best friends. If you're raising your hand right now, I have too. And hopefully you're thinking, yeah, Jessica, yours, I feel like that with you because I have tried really hard to be able to build a super authentic, irresistible, like fun brand where we feel like we're friends, right? Like where you feel like when you're watching my videos, we are BFFs. And I have some tips for you on how to like stand out online. Build an authentic and irresistible brand that feels like you, that attracts people to you, that repels the wrong people, and that makes people feel like they're having a conversation with a friend when you show up and do content. Hey, howdy, hey, y'all, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I am pumped that you are here. Just a few housekeeping notes. I am using this microphone, so hopefully you cannot hear it, but I'm getting my car detailed today, and I paid for like somebody to come to my house to do it. And so like you can hear like the pressure washer outside. Hopefully you can't hear it, I can. But if you do hear something crazy, that's probably what it is. But I had to get my car detailed because my dog puked in my front seat about 3 weeks ago, and I have ventilated seats. Like I have air conditioned cooled seats, which means there are tiny little holes in every seat. Which means that when a 70-pound dog pukes in your front seat and it goes all over the seat, those holes fill with dog puke and you have to pay $300 to get your car detailed. So that's number one. Number two, I am slightly junky. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I went on 2 back-to-back trips and was home for 2 days between them and came home from the first one with a cold. So I was able to feel mostly better by the time I went on the second one because I got like an IV drip, and boy, that was magical. Still have the bruise on my arm, but I'm still a little junky. So if you're like, Jessica, you sound sick, I'm good. I'm just coming off the back end of it. Third thing, it is a partly cloudy day, which is like the worst kind of day to try and film in because the sun is going to go in and out and in and out, and I'm going to get brighter and darker and brighter and darker, and you know what? It's okay. We'll get through this together, okay? All right, so branding online is super freaking important. And it doesn't matter what kind of business you are building, whether you're like a creator and like the business is the YouTube channel, or you are a business owner and you're trying to build a brand. Like it doesn't matter what you're doing on the internet, you will build a brand. If you put out one piece of content, you will build a brand with that one piece of content. If you build one website, if you put out one graphic on Instagram, that will establish your brand. And so we need to make sure that you're establishing your brand on the right foot from the jump. Listen, your brand is gonna go through lots of iterations. You are going to go through lots of iterations. I started my business when I was 24 years old. I am not the same human at 37 as I was at 24. Holy shit. Have I been in business for 13, almost? Yeah. It'll be 13 years at the end of this year. Huh. Well, that'll make you feel old. Anyway, not only am I not the same person, I have also, in your 30s, you get more like comfortable with who you actually are. Like I'm more comfortable with who I am. I'm more comfortable with the way I carry myself or the way I talk or, the way I truly am, the way I actually want to dress, like all of these things, right? So God knows my brand has changed a lot through the years and yours will too. But if you can really step into authenticity from the jump, it's gonna make those changes and stuff not feel like weird and crazy. And the reason this is so freaking important is because people need to know, like, and trust you before they will buy from you. And if you are not showing up authentically as your true self and in a way that makes people feel like they are your BFF or that you are someone that they want to listen to in one way, shape, or form, you will not, like, they won't know you, like you, trust you. They won't feel like they know you, like you, trust you. And they've got to know you, like you, trust you to buy from you. Like those are the speed bumps we have to get over to get people to buy from you. They have to know you, they have to like you, they have to trust you. And if you're not showing up online in a way that's conducive to that, it will happen. But have no fear. I am here and I'm going to give you some tips, okay? These are things I've learned along the way because again, go back and watch my first videos. Please don't, but please do at the same time. Like They're awful. They're terrible. I felt like I had to like, hi, my name is Jessica. Thank you for coming to my channel. And like overemphasize words that I wouldn't normally emphasize, get rid of my accent a little bit. Like I felt like I had to like be a different person. And again, I didn't really truly know myself when I was kind of getting started. And so you can go back to those old videos, my old Instagram posts, like whatever, and see how my brand has evolved throughout the years, and it's still evolving. Like literally, I just ordered some new outfits, and next week I'm gonna take some new brand photos and probably redo my website. So like, it's always evolving. But something I have always been really, really good at, or at least y'all have told me that I'm really, really good at, is that y'all feel like we're having a conversation. You feel like you know me. You feel like we could be BFFs. You feel like I can talk to you in a way that other people can't, that we're friends and that we can chat about stuff that maybe other people can't chat about with you, right? And so, because I get told that all the time, I thought like I would share some tips because I've been intentional about it. Okay, so first and foremost, and this one's gonna sound like a duh, you know, like duh, Jessica, but I swear most of us don't do this, and that is to be you. Y'all, just be yourself. Be the same person you would if the people on the other end of the camera, the people on the other end of social media were sitting down with you at dinner. Like, be that same person. It's I get told all the time, like all the time, at conferences, when people meet me in person, like whatever, right? That I am the same, I act the same in person as I do online. And I'm like, that's the point. Of course I do. Or at least I hope I do, because if I was showing up as somebody completely different here on the internet and then you met me in person, that would feel crappy. I have done that. I have met people like that. And I'm like, you are not being authentic, and I don't love it. So some tips to help you kind of be you. Number one, make note of how you act, talk, gesture, like move, whatever, when you're having normal conversations. Like if you'll be cognizant of how you do these things when you're actually having conversations, it'll be really easy for you to be like, okay, I need to do that on camera. I need to like whatever on camera. So for me, for instance, y'all know, I talk with my hands a lot, okay? If you tied my hands behind my back, I couldn't speak. Pretty sure of it. My dad has said that my whole life. My dad's like, listen, if I tied your hands behind your back, I don't think you could talk. And I'm like, I know I couldn't, because I talk with my hands. I'm a big hand talker. And in those first few videos, I would try and like stand still. And a lot of times I would like put my hands behind my back, or I put them in pockets, or I would hold them in front of me to try and avoid this, right? Like to try and avoid my hands all over the place. But y'all, this is me. This is how I would talk to somebody in real life, okay? So observe how you do things in real life and make sure that you're doing them on social media. Don't try and be someone else. So in order to be you, you can't be someone else. Okay, so, this is so hard because we will see all of these people on the internet who we see as successful, right? Like, okay, this person over here is successful. I want to be like them. Let me do things like them. And then we try and act like them or show up like them or brand ourselves like them or whatever, right? But that will always be inauthentic. Don't try and be someone else. It can be really hard because we're constantly like inundated with all of these like people, but try and be yourself as much as you can be yourself. And you will grow and evolve as you do content. Like if you do content as long as I've been doing content, you're gonna look back and be like, wow, I'm not the same person that I was just a few years ago. And that's okay, as long as you're being you and you're not trying to be someone else. Show up, and by the way, we're still in the like be you category, okay? So show up in ways that show off or demonstrate the unperfect version of you. This one's really hard for me still. Like I would never get on YouTube and film a video like without makeup on. But also that's me. I wouldn't go to the grocery store without makeup on either. I mean, I have, but like it's not a normal thing, and I'm not gonna just like walk around town without makeup on, so that's not me anyway. But what is me is showing up on stories at 8 o'clock in the morning because I haven't gotten ready yet and not having any makeup on. And that feels okay to me versus like a YouTube video where it wouldn't feel okay to me. But find some ways to show up that show that you're like a real human, you know? So Instagram stories is a great way to do this because you don't have to be perfect on there. They expire in 24 hours, and most people are showing up, not completely put together on Instagram stories. And so it makes it really easy for you to jump on that trend. And then the last thing, as far as like being you, don't rehearse. So many people will try and like rehearse, script, whatever, what they're gonna say. And listen, I have notes over here that I'm looking at, but it's not scripted. I've not scripted out exactly what I'm gonna say. I did not rehearse this video. I have never once, that's not true. I have once and realized that it was not a good idea, gotten on stage and like presented in a way where I had like rehearsed it massively, because that removes the real-time authenticity. Now, would I get up on stage unprepared? No, but I'm not going to sit here and like rehearse every single word, because then it's going to feel rehearsed. The same thing goes with your videos. The same thing goes with your Instagram stories. You have got to just like go, just do it, do the thing, just like you were having a conversation with a friend. Like, don't put too much into it. All right, second thing you want to do to build a super authentic, irresistible brand is to incorporate non-niche stuff into your brand. So like, y'all know what my favorite TV show is. It's Gilmore Girls. If you follow me long enough, you're gonna know that I hate coffee and that I think it tastes like burnt bean water. If you follow me long enough, you're gonna hear me do a "that's what she said" joke, or talk about my kids or my husband or living on a farm. None of those things have anything to do with my business. They're not teaching you how to make digital products, online courses, passive income, how to use content to sell those things. Like, they're not doing the thing that my niche is supposed to do. What they are doing though is helping you get to know me and helping you connect with me in some way. Though I call these breadcrumbs, because you may never have seen Gilmore Girls, but maybe you hear me talk about it enough and you're like, I've got to go watch Gilmore Girls. And now I am permanently in your brain associated with Gilmore Girls. Or you also love Gilmore Girls. There I am again. Or maybe you hate Gilmore Girls, but you still associate it with me, right? The same thing with coffee. Like, I hate coffee. It's disgusting. I don't know how y'all drink it. And I have a strong stance on that, right? You probably love coffee. Most of the world loves coffee. And so you're gonna be drinking your coffee and watching one of my videos where I talk about where I hate coffee or whatever, and you're gonna be like, silly girl, coffee's amazing. But in your head, me hating coffee is gonna stick. Or you also hate coffee. So we have that in common. I showed up on Instagram stories the other day while we were kayaking on the river because I had to show y'all that my husband was wearing jorts. He cut off a pair of jeans. I was wearing jean shorts on the river instead of swimming trunks. That's not niche related, but I bet you'll remember it. You'll get to know me as a human. You'll get to know the fact that I live on a farm. Y'all know my puppy, right? Well, like, I show my kids. Like, all of these things are non-niche things that show you me in a different light. You have to have those things incorporated into your online presence, into your brand online, to show up as authentic and as someone who people feel like they're friends with. Because if we're only getting the like corporate version of you or the business version of you, then people can't connect with you. And you need that connection to do all of this. Last but not, absolutely not least, use visuals to show people who you are. This is your design. This is the way you dress. This is the way you edit your YouTube videos. This is the way you create graphics on Instagram. Use visuals to aid people in understanding who you are. So I'm not wearing like big earrings today, but like, I love big earrings and like band t-shirts, and I love the like grungy girly feel of how I dress. And I also love that in my brand. I love colors, but I also want to feel a little funky. And I can use my brand visually to help you see that and help you feel that as me, as a person. Be funky and fun. Be gothic Barbie. Be pink and girly Barbie. Be plain Jane, earthy tones, right? Like, use the visual parts of your brand, your website, your graphics, your colors, your whatever, to represent how you want people to feel about you, but also you. This. Use it. right? Like dress the way you would normally dress. Dress in a way that makes you feel really good. Like if you watch my videos and you know that sometimes I dress kind of fancy, I wear like fancy shirts, but sometimes I'm wearing like t-shirts and sometimes I'm wearing a ball cap and a sweatshirt. It's because that's me. That you don't know what you're gonna get. It's like a surprise box of Chex Mix. Okay, that's me. Like you don't know. I could show up to a lunch with leggings and with like this on, right? Like leggings and a black shirt. I probably would never wear this together. I'm just wearing this shirt because I was filming. But I would wear this with jeans, right? And I would wear the leggings always. But also you might get me in like a skirt with like a band tee or a blazer with like a hat on if I'm going to an event. So like you're going to see that on my social media because that's how it actually is. So use the visual parts of your brand to like help you convey your personality to the world. And honestly, some people are gonna have a harder time with all of this than others. Like for me, I have always been somebody who's authentic. I don't generally try and be other people. I don't generally try and like dress like other people or anything like that. I dress in a way that makes me feel good. I dress in ways that I like. And I'm okay with being different. I want to be different, right? And so for me, that's part of me is that I want to be different. Like I do not like to be like other people. And I have been like that since day one, at least as far as I can remember, right? I had a purple car in high school. Obsessed. Nobody else had a purple car. It was amazing. Like my first car was a purple car and it was spectacular because nobody else had a purple car. When I buy a pair of running shoes, they're going to be the brightest, most neonest running shoes you could ever buy because I want to be different. Like I'm just that person, right? And so being authentic, being me, showing up as me has never been hard for me. But if you're someone who doesn't truly know yourself, or you have always just kind of like wanted to fit in, or you have always really worried about what people think about you, showing up as you authentically can be hard. And it's a muscle you're gonna have to work. My husband, and if he was here, he would tell you this. He cares about what people think to the next level. Like truly obsesses isn't the right word, worries. I guess worries is the right word. Like worries to his core about what people think about him. And I could care less. Like the fact that I have my nose pierced, he's not like, oh, you shouldn't have your nose pierced. But I know it bothers him. I know it bothers him when we like walk into church. He's a preacher. We like walk into church and I have like tattoos and my nose pierced. And for me, that just feels really authentic. It's who I feel like I am. That feels authentic to me. Doesn't even remotely bother me in any kind of situation because I truly feel like I'm being myself. But for him, I know that he worries about it. But like even for himself, right? Like that's just an example with me. But for himself, like how he talks on the internet or how he talks to someone or you know, what he says to someone or how he presents something to someone or the way he dresses or like he very much so cares about what other people think. And that's okay. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but you're going to have a harder time showing up as authentically you if you're all wrapped up in what people think about you. You've really got to do some work on I don't care what people think about me. This is me. This is how I'm going to dress. This is how I'm going to feel. This is how I'm going to talk. This is how I would normally talk to somebody I'm talking to across the table. And if it's not okay with people, they can buzz off. So yeah, hopefully this helps you a wee little bit. Figure out like how you can stand out online, how you can be super authentic and irresistible. And I promise you, if you're authentic, you will be irresistible. If you follow these tips, you will be irresistible and you will stand out. If you will be yourself, incorporate non-niche stuff, really use your brand to like make people feel the way you want them to feel or feel the way they should feel about you or like however you're trying to do that, you will stand out. Because it's the cookie cutter brands that all blend together. It's the ones who are authentic and who are out here just showing up as their true selves that stand out. All right, so I would love to hear in the comments how you plan to do this. Like, Is there something you plan to start doing? Do you plan to start talking about something more? Do you plan to start dressing in a certain way? Do you plan to incorporate more colors or like different colors into your brand? I'd love to hear how you're going to do this in the comments below. And until next time, bye y'all.